Hey everyone, welcome to Big Sister Strings Podcast. I'm your host, Katera Lachey, Katera B, whatever you want to call me. And we're on here to help each other, to talk about things that you may not be able to talk about with someone else. You could talk about with me, or also just things that you may need to hear that I talk about that someone may have not told you. And I just want to be here to be a help to others. First off, before we do start, please check the link in the description if you're watching on YouTube, the link in the show notes if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or any other podcast platform, for a few links, which is, for one, my candle business. Link is in the description, Royal Candles. Secondly, my Facebook group that I'm starting, full of us sisters helping each other, sharing stories, testimonies, whatever you want to share, uplifting one another. And I feel like it'll be a great thing. And I think that's it for right now. Yeah, that is it for right now. And also, I want to say that if you ever have anything that you don't mind me talking about on my podcast, discussing, or just giving you advice about, please send it to me in my social media accounts, my DMs. Just let me know. We can talk about it personally if you want to talk about it personally. I don't share anything that I talk about. And also, if you want to talk about it, if you don't mind me talking about it on here, we can do that as well, so I can help someone else who may be going through the same problem. And lastly, this podcast is going to be, a lot of sisters helping sisters, me helping you with the knowledge I've obtained throughout my life, and also my godliness, my faith, everything that comes into the same category with that. If that's not something you believe in, I'm not forcing it on you. Just know that will be some of the things that I talk about. And so if you're interested in all of those things, please continue to stay, because I'd love to have you. So, what's on y'all's mind today? Because I feel like I have a lot on my mind, but I don't really know how to say it. I have a lot of topics lined up for you guys, so I think this will be a good thing. But first off, thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. So the first thing that I want to talk about today is faith. I'm talking about faith because recently my faith has really been tried, tested, and girl, let me tell you, it's just been a roller coaster. It's really been a roller coaster. I will soon share my testimony experiences with you all, but I have to allow God to work in my life and let him continue, let his work be done until I can share it with you all, because I don't want to put something out there and then, you guys get what I'm trying to say. I don't want to put something out there and then it goes a different way. That makes sense. I think I'm making sense, but yeah. And also, excuse if you're hearing any planes, cars, trucks outside. Please excuse it. But yeah, so lately, my faith has really been tried, tested, everything under the sun. And I guess I can share a little bit with you all. So recently, I've just been feeling like I cannot be an idle person. I can't be an idle mind. I can't be an idle body. Like, if I'm idle, if I don't get up and do something, then the devil starts to attack. Y'all see, I'm getting a little emotional already. Whew. But yeah, then the devil starts to attack. Like, my body will ache, head will hurt, face will hurt, toes, fingers, chest, everything just start hurting. And I'm just like, I'm 20 years old. Why am I aching like this? Why is my body hurting? Why is this and why is that happening? And also, I'll sit in bed and I'm just like, I have all of these ideas, all of these plans. Ergo, this podcast. I've been planning this podcast for months. I know, right? And I just haven't gotten up to do it. I haven't had the energy. I haven't had the push, the drive, the ambition. I haven't had any any push or drive to do anything that I really wanted to do, except for my candles. But I've kind of been like delaying myself on that as well. So yeah, like I said, I cannot be an idle person. And I feel like this because when I get up, take a shower, brush my teeth, eat breakfast, get some things done that I want to get done. There we go. This podcast again. I feel great. I feel good. Talking, feeling happy, not thinking about any other thing aching, hurting, like I'm straight. Even though I'm feeling a little pain right here. I don't know where it's coming from. I need to start being active too, because being a student athlete throughout your whole school career, starting from elementary up to high school. Why am I crying, y'all? My eyes watering. And then going up to high school, going to college and not really being as physically active, yeah, that takes a toll on your body too, because sometimes I feel like my body is 80 years old. Yeah. But I know some 80-year-olds who can get up and beat me in a race. So I ain't even gonna say that, but I just feel old, like my bones, body just aches. I'm aching every day. But like I was saying, when I get up, do what I need to do, I feel great. I feel amazing. But yeah, again, like I was saying, my faith has been tested because, for one, I was speaking with my cousin a few days ago. She called me, was talking about a business plan that we're working on starting. And I wouldn't call it a business plan, I'd call it a mission, because it is of God. It's something that has to do with Him and His glory. And as I was talking to her, I was letting her know, like, COVID has really caused a lot of us to feel disconnected from God. I don't know if you all grew up in a church. I grew up in a church throughout my whole life, even throughout college. Like before COVID, 2019, when I started college, I got involved in gospel choir. I shared my testimony on my personal Facebook page, and yeah, I have a personal relationship with Him. Well, I had one. I still do now, but at the time of COVID starting, do y'all hear that? That's what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh. OMG. Tired of those trucks. Anyways, I need a soundproof room. But back to what I was saying. Yes. Start of COVID, I endured a lot. I wouldn't say I was depressed, but in a sense, yes. I was just very sad, but I really didn't let that slow me down, because I did start again on my YouTube, which is a lot of times I get off of my YouTube. Like, I don't stay consistent with it because my mind is on other things. I'm doing other things when I know that YouTube is something I've been doing for 10, 11, 12 years now, like literally, and on and off. A lot of my videos are hidden from when I was younger, but yeah, they're there. And I just felt like it was a lot of things that were attacking me. Like, I was really being attacked. I felt like I was being attacked because, like I said, I was sad. My mind wasn't in the right place. I started my YouTube again, but that was just something, like I said, to keep me unidle, because when I was idle, it was just a mess, a hot mess. And then along with COVID restrictions, we can't go to church. And me knowing that that's really the only place, and I know as a Christian, you have to seek God for yourself, but being young, 18, 19, even though I'm 20, but 18, 19, church was only the really place where I just knew, like, I could be focused on Him. I was getting a word. I was getting hearing someone's testimony, or getting some fed with the Spirit, basically. And when they said I couldn't go to church, when they said I couldn't do this, or said I couldn't do that, it kind of took a toll, and I felt very disconnected from God. Like, I know who God is. I still know what He's capable of, but the faith that I had in Him dwindled. Now, I will say it is a blessing that throughout this whole pandemic, I have not been sick. I thank God, I praise him every day for that. Because there's a lot of people I know that have been sick and have went through, what they're going through throughout this whole thing. I don't think I can say the word on the platform. So, you guys know what I'm talking about, this whole thing. And yeah, I'm just blessed for that. I'm sorry, guys, my mind went somewhere else. But yeah, I'm just blessed for that. But not being able to get up and go to church, make it a routine, sing in the choir, because that's my ministry, singing. And also praise dancing, but that's another story. But yeah, that's my ministry, and not being able to minister to him the way I minister has really, disconnected me from him. So as I was going through what I realized that I had been trying to handle everything on my own. Like, I know who God is. I'll call on him anytime, but do I believe that when I call on him, he's going to do what I ask? And that's the question that I had to ask myself. Because recently, went to church with my boyfriend. Not this recent, but about a month or two ago. I went to church for the first time in months with my boyfriend. And I let him know, like, I didn't really feel anything in church that day. I sat there, I heard the word, but did I really feel it? Did I feel the Spirit? Did I feel God? Did I know, like, hey, I feel the Spirit. God is here. God, and I'm sitting there praying to myself any other time, but this time I was sitting there like a knot on a log, like, where am I type stuff. Even though, like I said, I know where I was, what was going on, but I did not feel a connection in that moment. And that really hurt my feelings, because I'm like, why am I sitting in a church and I don't feel anything? Like, anything. And I really had to realize that my relationship with God wasn't there. Like, I needed to do something as soon as possible, because I knew what I was going through personally, and I knew I needed him and I needed his help. But if I did not give him his glory, if I didn't give him his honor, his time, how was I going to ever expect him to do anything I asked him to do for me? So after that, I set out to start writing again. Right, because I write letters to God. That's how I talk to God. I started to write letters again, try to pray every night, read my Bible. But again, I would lay in bed. I'd rather lay in bed or stay on my phone, scroll on my phone, do everything else but what I set myself out to do. And it really showed, because like I was saying in the beginning of the podcast, when I started really going through some things that I was going through, or that I've been going through, my faith really showed. It really showed. And when I say that, I mean that when I was praying and asking God to bring certain things into fruition, I was asking God to perform a miracle on me, perform a miracle for me. And I'm like, okay, I done prayed to God, I done wrote him this letter, I done had my personal time with God, I done spoke to him, and when I asked him to do it, and I expected it to happen right away. I expected, God, I asked you to perform this miracle on me, and I expected it to be done within a certain amount of time. And God does not work like that. He doesn't work when you want him to. Like the song says, he may not come when you want him, but he be right on time. He's an on-time God. So what I had to realize was, I cannot sit there and say, God, can you perform this miracle for me? Can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? God, I need this and I need that. Because he also says that we have everything that we need. He will not let you go without. So I realized again, I think I keep saying I realized, but yes, again, I figured, I'm going to use a different word. I figured that because I haven't been putting my all into God, I can't expect God to give his all for me, even though he will never love us any less for anything that we do. But we got to match some energy here. We got to give God our time in order for us to expect him to give his time. You know what I'm saying? Like, am I making sense? We have to really stay focused on what he has set out for us to do in order for us to expect anything in return. So again, I was asking God to do all this and that and the third and expecting it to be done right away. And when it wasn't, I wouldn't say that my faith disappeared, but I will say that I'm just like, you know how in the movies they have like a devil on this shoulder and a God on the other shoulder, like an angel? That was going on in my head. A lot of people call it spiritual warfare. That was going on in my head. Like, I'll be over here like, God is going to do it. He's going to do what I asked him to do. I just got to be patient. I just got to wait. I just got to pray. Another one was like, well, you asked God to do it 2 days ago. He hasn't done it yet. Where is he? Where is your God? Type stuff. And I was going on, like, having this battle going on in my head constantly. Like, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I'm just like, hold on, because it started having me second guessing myself. I'm like, God, I did ask you, to do it. And it hasn't been done yet. So, I was like, what's going on? But I had to notice that this devil over here was me reading up on Google, me listening to other people saying, well, it hasn't been done, so it's impossible for that to be done. It hasn't been done. It's never been done. Nobody's ever seen it be done. But I'm like, my angel over here is like, whew, I get emotional talking about this, y'all, because like I was saying, it's been a battle. But my angel over here is like, well, so I'm trying not to cry, y'all. Okay. Again, but my angel over here is like, you're a child of God. You've always knew that you had a special place with God. Oh my gosh. But yeah, the angel over here again. I'm sorry, y'all. An emotional podcast. But yeah. The other angel over here was like, you know that you're a child of God. You know that he has favor over your life. You know that he's never let you down. He's never let anything happen to you. And this, that, and the third. So it's just like, who do I believe? Or what do I believe? And that's again where faith comes in. Because although whatever I'm asking of God has been rare to happen, hasn't been seen, nobody's really seen it be done, doesn't mean it can't be done for me. It doesn't mean it can be done for me. And that's what I'm here to tell you all. Just because something is impossible, just because people say it hasn't been done, or they've never seen it happen, or it's impossible for it to happen, it doesn't mean it won't happen for you. It doesn't mean God won't create a miracle or work a miracle on you, perform a miracle on you, so that you can testify for that. Everyone has a testimony. Everyone has a story. But just because it doesn't work out the way that you planned it to, doesn't mean that God isn't in the midst or in the mix. Just because someone says it hasn't happened, doesn't mean it won't happen. Doesn't mean it's not in the works of happening. Doesn't mean that your faith has to be dwindled down because someone else doesn't have the faith as big as you. Doesn't mean your faith has to be dwindled down because you have a battle going on in your head. Just because something is telling you, oh, well, that can't happen because it's never happened. Or you don't have the faith that it'll happen because no one's ever seen it happen. Like I was saying, God has a plan for each and every one of us. You cannot say what God will and won't do for you just because it hasn't been done for someone else. You have to know personally in your relationship with God how deeply embedded you are with Him, and how much favor, you got to know you are highly favored. Like that's when I say how much favor. And you have to know that whenever you put your time in with God, your work in with God, you have to know that you will be rewarded for that. Don't just think because people on earth, those of the world, say that something can't happen, doesn't mean it won't happen. Like, you cannot make yourself believe that. You have to believe in not only yourself, but in God, who says that He will do anything that you ask. So, lately, as I've been dealing with this battle, and I haven't been as active, I've been idle, sitting down, not spreading the word, not in my word. Yeah, I've been feeling the reaps of it. You reap what you sow. I've been feeling it. I've been feeling aches, pains, everything. Every day something's wrong. Nothing goes right. I just don't feel the things of Him. But when you sit down and really think and really pray and ask God to reveal to you the things that you've been missing, or the things that you need to do to get closer with Him, believe it. Believe in your prayer. It'll come. It might not come directly, like you seen something. A lot of times you'll hear God give you an answer, you'll see Him give you an answer, or you'll be in the midst of the answer and not even know, but He'll bring it to light. So when I say have faith, I say you gotta have faith of a mustard seed. But a lot of times people are like, well, how much is a mustard seed? How much is that? What is that? And it's about this big. But even with faith that big, you can't forget that faith without works is dead. So if you just say you have faith and you don't do anything to prove you have faith, you don't pray and wait for God to bring anything into fruition, or you don't believe that He'll do or perform a miracle on you. If you just say, oh, I have faith in God, but you don't believe in anything that He says, do you really have faith? Is it really there? And also, you have to know that, again, patience is a major part, a major key in a lot of things that God has for us, because we want things in our time. And a lot of things that if God gave it to us right now, we wouldn't know what to do with it. I don't know if I said this early in the podcast, can't remember. But when God gives us something, we can't forget about Him. We can't get our prize, get our miracle performed, be healed, given money, blessed with this and blessed with that. When we get it, it's just like God gets no more glory. God doesn't get talked to anymore. He doesn't get focused on anymore. He doesn't get attention because we've already got what we asked for, and that's all we needed. We're like, oh God, I got what I need. And you throw it away. You can't do that. Because God knows already what you're going to do when you get your miracle or when you get your blessing. He knows what you're going to do with it already. So that's why a lot of times he may take his time, because he wants you to grow in your own faith, or grow with your relationship with him big enough so that he knows for a fact that when you get your blessing or you get your miracle, that you will not leave him behind. It's very easy to do that, and I'm guilty of it as well, knowing that I'm blessed and highly favored, but whenever God blesses me and favors me, I don't reach out to God for about another month or two, maybe 3 or 4, because I've got what God promised, and that's not fair to him. And it's also not fair to us, because the next time we ask God for something, it may take a little longer. Our faith may be tried, we may be tested, and there may be a lot that comes into getting whatever we ask God for. We may be pushed down 50 times just to see if we'll get back up, knowing that 51st time God will do whatever he said he was going to do. So in that fact of the matter, again, you have to keep your faith. It's not easy. I'll make another podcast explaining how I did it. But that is all for this podcast today. Thank you all for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. If you're listening on anything else, please leave a review. Don't forget to save my podcast so you're notified when I upload next. I love you all. And Big Sister out.